The Facebook is alive with the taste of Austrian wine. Okay, I'm Natalie MacLean of NatalieMacLean.com, where I review hundreds of wines, new wines, every week to find bottles that you'll love. You can get my free picks by clicking on Sign Up, the blue button. And while you're there, why don't you click on like and share and let your friends know about our little party so they can join us right here, right now. But back to the topic. Austrian wines. What makes them different? What grapes are they made from? What do you pair with them for food and all the rest of it? So thus the whole soundtrack from Sound of Music, which I'm no Maria. But then again, I'm not with Klaus von Trapp or whatever. So anyway, Sharon's here. She's already given us a like. Sharon, I'm glad to see you're there. What's in your glass? If you're logging in, let us know where you're at and what's in your glass. We are talking about Austrian wines, and I think there isn't a widespread understanding, at least here in North America, about Austrian wines because it's such a small category. But as we know, small is beautiful in the wine world. A lot of the producers of Austrian wine own very few hectares of vineyards. They produce very little, so they're not going to fill the shelves of, say, a Costco or big supermarket chains or grocery chains or even liquor store chains. So thus, we don't get a lot of exposure, but it is a fast-growing category, and you need to know why, because you are missing out on a key pleasure in life if you are avoiding Austrian wines because you don't know a lot about them or you can't pronounce words like Grüner Veltliner. We are going to solve that tonight for you. So anyway, if you're just joining us, please just comment where you're logging in from, where you why are you logging in, what for, and what's in your glass. Hey Anne, what's in your glass? Let me guess, Dr. L. Germany is close to Austria, but not Austria. All right, so one of the larger, I put that in quotes because as I just said, none of the Austrian producers are very large. But one of the better known, I should say, producers is Rabel. Now this rabble-rouser winery produces a number of wines, and the Grüner Veltliner, I just love saying that, Grüner Veltliner, once you get past the whole thing, it actually is pronounced just like it looks. So I'm putting my own fake Austrian or some sort of unknown European country accent on it, but it's Grüner Veltliner, literally. So the Grüner Veltliner is a crisp white. I've heard it likened to, oh hey Lynn, how are you? You're drinking carnivore Cabernet with meatloaf tonight. Lynn, you couldn't be farther away from Austrian Grüner Veltliner, but that's okay, I'm glad you're here. That's a good wine. So Grüner Veltliner I have heard described as the minerality and mouth-watering juiciness of a Riesling, the crispness and perhaps again that sort of racy acidity of Sauvignon Blanc, plus the sort of the white peach orchard notes of a Pinot Gris. So if you take that and you think, do I like any of those grapes, or all of them in my case, hello, give Grüner Veltliner a try as a grape. Lynn's here. Hey Lynn from Halifax, what's in your glass? So that's kind of the taste profile, but I'm simplifying it, of course, and I'd love to hear what you think. If you've tried a Grüner Veltliner from Austria, how would you describe it? Which ones have you enjoyed? Where were you and what were you eating, most importantly? Lise is here. Hello, Miss Lise. You're drinking Aqua now. Is that from a good month, that Aqua, Lise? Not sure about later. Okay, well, let's work on that, Lise. So the Grüner Veltliner, it's also a white wine that has become the darling of sommeliers, especially at great restaurants around the world in major capitals from New York to Toronto to London to Paris, because it is so food friendly. I think it kind of ties for first place with sparkling wine for food friendliness. So all of your wine killers, your wine stalkers, your asparagus, your artichoke, your egg-based dishes like quiche, what else is tough on wine? Olives, stinky cheeses. Throw it out there if you've got another suggestion. But Grüner Veltliner has the grace and the inner core strength to pair with those kinds of difficult foods. And of course, the whole gamut from fresh seafood to, just about anything, as well as being a nice chilled aperitif. The only thing probably that it's not optimized for would be a really juicy steak. So Lynn, you're on the right track with the carnivore. But it's not to say you could not drink this with a steak, but there are better, I think, better pleasures and matches to be had with Gruner Veltliner. So again, let's just get you past that whole pronunciation thing, Gruner Veltliner, and give it a shot. The Austrian wine category is one of the smaller ones in the liquor stores here, but it's growing very quickly, and there's a reason for that. They deliver really terrific value. So these are often underpriced to other fresh, crisp white wines from other regions. Anna's having sake a little later. Good. Rooibos tea now. Rooibos. Never sure how to pronounce that. Hey Sharon. Hey, you've got Diabolica in your glass. Okay. And based on the Sunday Sipper Club recommendation at Halloween. All right, Sharon. Good. I'm glad you're following along and that this is having an impact on your life. That means a lot. All right, so, but it's growing quickly because there's a sort of, how do I put this? A sort of a sensation that your mouth is diving into the ocean on a hot summer day. It's that saline purity, that crispness, that briny ocean mist on your senses. That's Gruner Veltliner. It's don't be afraid of the word acid or acidity. That is a good thing. As I've said in the past, acidity is to wine as salt is to food. It brings forward flavor. It literally makes your mouth water. That is all goodness. So this is a crisp white. As I said, let's give it a shot. All right. And here we go. So, I'm smelling the ocean right now. And some people wonder, well, what is salinity, briny, minerality? Think about the ocean coast and the kind of wet stone smells you would get. Hey, Dave from Cookstown, yay! Claire and you, newlyweds, congratulations, are drinking Strewn Terroir, keeping it local. That is just fine. Which Strewn wine are you drinking, Dave? Floyd is here. He's drinking Montgras and Tout. So that is Chilean, I believe. Are you drinking a Carmenere there, Floyd? And where are you from? Floyd, you've got the Grinch Santa. Floyd is logging in from the North Pole. Okay, so back to the Gruner Veltliner. Oh my gosh, it's just a hallway of refreshment, It's like spritzing yourself with ocean spray, but onto your taste buds. It's so great. Anyway, all right. Now, Rabble does a number of wines. I'm sure they do many, many more that are available in Austria, but the wines I'm tasting today are available in the LCBO SAQ, which probably means they're pretty widespread distribution across this country and the United States and elsewhere, because it's these folks who are going to produce enough to get into liquor stores. Floyd's drinking the Cabernet Sauvignon 2013 from Montgras. All right, Floyd, let me know what you think of that and what you're pairing with it, or maybe just more of the same. So here's another one. So you can see that for Austria, Gruner Veltliner is like Chardonnay, but way different in taste profile. But you know how wineries in North America will produce different versions, say of Chardonnay or Cabernet or Merlot, an oaked, an unoaked, a vintage, a cellar selection, a proprietor special, bow tie, whatever, hoop-de-doo kind of designation. Well, right here I picked up 4 different Rabble Gruner Veltliners, and they're all from different regions, and so on. Now the comments are coming in really quickly. Okay, Sharon, Natalie, I don't think I've ever seen an Austrian wine at the LCBO. Are there enough wines that there would be a sign? I think it's in Eastern Europe, Sharon. Should I look near smaller Eastern wines like Portugal? Yes, I think they call it Eastern European, and in the SAQ it's like Europe-other. Lindsay Pinnell, I've never tried Austrian wine. Am I missing out? Yes, you are, Lindsay. # try it this week, please. Lise, Nat, I have a question on that Rabble On the LCBO site, it says it's dry, but sugar content is 13 grams per liter. Wouldn't that be more like dry? Okay, all of these Gruners are dry. They're virtually always made dry. I don't know that they make even an off dry. They're extra dry. They're really extra dry. Okay, yes, that's extra dry. Stephen from Waterloo is logging in, and that's where my son is going to university. So Stephen, every time you log in, I think of my son, Ryan, who's at Waterloo studying engineering, going into exam time. The poor dear. He doesn't drink, but sometimes I wish I could give him a good Gruner Veltliner. Anyway, don't need to corrupt him too young though. So Gruner Veltliner is always very, very dry. Think of it like, some of those other, like Vinho Verde from Portugal, bone dry Riesling from Alsace. They're in a class of whites that are extremely dry. Floyd, whenever Austrian wines come to the LCBO, I snap them up. They're whites from Western Austria are superb. Don't tell anyone. That's just between you and me and Facebook, Floyd, okay? It's our secret. LaDonna, hey, what does dry mean? LaDonna, I think you're new here. Welcome. Dry means, so the formula for, the very basic formula for making wine is you take the grapes, which provide the sugar, the yeast, which likes to eat up the sugar, and as the yeast eats the sugar, it produces two things. CO2, carbon dioxide, which is released into the atmosphere unless you're making bubbly, then it's trapped in the bottle somehow, different methods, and alcohol. That's the product of yeast eating sugar, the sugar from the grapes. So, dryness is a measure of, did you let the yeast eat all of the sugar? Or did you save some? Did you stop fermentation? Or there's different methods, but did you leave some of the sugar unfermented, uneaten by the yeast, literally? Hey Lori, hello, how are you? Okay, and Roger is here from Whitby, Christmas decorating and eggnog. That sounds really festive. I can hear the little Christmas carols. Dave, Struan 3, 2005. Wow, that's a good one. That's got to be good. So Donna, LaDonna, sorry. I love that name, LaDonna. It's special. So dry is a measure of how much, what we call residual sugar, RS, is left in the wine after it's fermented. Did they ferment to complete dryness, like they do usually in Gruner Veltliner? Did they leave a little sugar in? Then it's just maybe a dry designation. Did they leave some sugar in? Then it's a medium dry, medium, down to sweet, like dessert wines would be sweet. They'd have lots of sugar, residual sugar. Spencer Hollis de Villo-Bresnik. Wow, that's quite the name. Love it. Hey Nat, a little early to be drinking in Tokyo, 8 a.m., but looking forward to having a glass tonight. I love this. I mean, have you looked at all the people and all the different locations tonight? I am loving this. I don't know, I'm jazzed by this and the connections. We got Tokyo, we got Whitby, we've got Virginia. LaDonna, where are you logging in from, my dear? We've got Halifax. I've lost track, but this is pretty cool. Okay, let's keep going. So that's Gruner Veltliner, and I'll come back to that. But with Austrian wines, and by the way, if you're just logging in now, you can always watch the replay from the beginning, but stick with us now. Hit the like button, the share button, let your friends know what we're doing here so they can join us. Hit the blue sign up button if you haven't in the past, and you'll get my free wine picks every 2 weeks. And let me know where you're from. LaDonna's from Houston. Gotta love that. We are touching the globe tonight. All right, Greg Bateman. He's having a lovely 2014 Hidden Bench Chardonnay. I'm guessing you're in Ontario, Greg. That is a gorgeous wine. Hidden Bench is a superb Niagara producer. Really great. Great stuff. So anyway, but back to our topic, Austrian wines. So let me tell you a little bit about Austria as well, because I want to make this learning and conversational, but you come away with a bit better understanding about Austrian wines. So a lot of the vineyards in Austria are planted on very steep terraces, meaning they're on hillsides which kind of plunge down to the Danube River. And one of the most beautiful wine trips you can ever take is to Austria, and you can go by barge or by riverboat on the Danube, and you're looking up at all the castles and these terraced vineyards, And some of them are planted at 80-degree slopes. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's dangerous for harvesting. Just amazing. It's like that in Germany, in the Moselle, but this is even steeper. They are the world's steepest vineyards. And that is a great thing, because what that means is that there's a lot of drainage. So when it rains, the water runs off. The vines don't get a lot of water, so they're suffering, which is a good thing for vines and people, I think. It builds character. So when you have good drainage, and one of the ways you can get good drainage is to have steep slopes, you get suffering vines and better wine, to put it simply. Floyd has said, hello from southwestern Ontario. Excellent. I thought you said on a desert island. That's where my mind goes to. On a desert island, what would be your one European white to go to? Alsace, Chablis, Champagne? Come on, you have to choose. Floyd, so much pressure. Is there somebody else there that can also make a choice so we could have two bottles? It's a good question. I'm on a theme tonight, Floyd, so you know what? I wouldn't mind having one of these Gruners. But yeah, the other ones you mentioned would be great, but you're making me choose. So you know what? I am going to choose. I'm going to go with this one, because the last wine I tasted is always the one that I'm loving. So this is another Gruner Veltliner from Nuremberg. It is so good. It's got not tropical, but sort of stone fruit. Very minerally, wet stone, oceanfront all the way. Again, so crisp, so clean. I just want to do on a hot day, spray water and try to cool yourself off by natural evaporation. That's what this does. So crisp, so clean. All right, Lise, great. Now you're a supporter. I'm a supporter of making grapes suffer. Who knew? Yes. You need to get sadistic when it comes to grapes. You need to make those little suckers suffer. But that's why when table grapes are plump and ripe and they've had a fat, easy life, wine grapes are usually dry and shriveled and really on the street kind of suffering. And that's what gives them character, because when it's not plump, when the grape is not plump from lots of water, then you've got the ratio of flavor to water is very tight, low. I should never go into math examples. Anyway, you've got a very concentrated flavor wine. That's why old vines produce little tiny grapes of great flavor. That's why we like old vines. That's why we like drainage. Make those grapes suffer. # make those grapes suffer. Stephen says, at Thanksgiving we had the Prestige Tockenbeeren Auslese. I love saying that. Thank you for the opportunity. With pumpkin pie. So that is a German sweet wine. One of the sweetest. The sweetest. The wine was complex and very good. It did not match with the pie. Should have had apple strudel. Was it because it was too sort of earthy, spicy? Stephen? Is that why it didn't match? Valerie is here from Toronto. Hello, Valerie. Is Gewürztraminer a good pick for Asian cuisine? It's perfect. Gewürz means spice. And Austria does Gewürztraminer, not a lot. But of course, Alsace in northern France is famous for Gewürztraminer. So yeah, you bet. That just rocks. That rocks. Stephen, do you have any Pinot Noir from Austria that you would recommend? Well, funny you should ask that, Stephen. Stephen is my plant for tonight. So, in Austria is not just, good Lord, the comments are coming quickly. Let me not miss. Hey, Paul, just a quick hey. Now back to the cabs. Paul and Patty in Virginia are at an event, but Paul promised, and he has done so. He snuck out into the hallway somewhere at some event and said, hey. Now that's dedication. I love it. Hey back. Enjoy that event, Paul. So Rabel also produces Saint Laurent, which is, I believe, but correct me, anybody who's more knowledgeable than I am on Austrian wine, which would not be difficult. Saint Laurent is Pinot Noir. So it's a nice red, and we've also got Andrew Stevenson, love your best value list. Just wrapping up a delicious bottle of Gerard Bertrand Grand Terroir 2013 from our list this week. Terrific, Andrew. That's fantastic. I'm glad you like that. You must be in Ontario, I'm guessing. All right. So we've got Rabel, Saint Laurent, which is Pinot Noir. So Austria is not just about whites, although the majority of wines are whites because it's a cool climate, really cool. So whites thrive there with their natural acidity. Reds need more ripening time, but you're going to get those nervy, edgy wines. Spencer's got the hashtag already. Make those grapes suffer. That's not going to fit anywhere. But thank you, Spencer. And then we've got Len Mosier, another really reputable, well-known producer in Austria, and he's got Blauer Zweigelt. Zweigelt is a grape you'll come across in other countries, but Austria does it really well. If you like Baco Noir, you'll like Blauer Zweigelt. Lise, I need to try this Austria stuff. What was the second bottle? I need to track down this immediately. I'm going to post the links to all these wines, Lise. I will, I promise. Gwen's here. She's sipping Niagara Unoaked Chardonnay from Casaba. Excellent, Gwen. I'm glad you've got a good Niagara wine on the go, even though we are talking Austrian, but that's okay. Because I find each time we talk about something next week, people are drinking what we talked about last week. And that works. Absolutely. Okay. So Linda Day Young has mentioned me in a comment somewhere. This Facebook stuff, I'm still getting used to it. I don't know where that is, but anyway. Hey, Helena's drinking her Diet Pepsi. Okay. Sam from BC joined in late. Just got back from a walk in Vancouver sunshine. Okay. Sam, you and Vancouverites always showing off about your weather. We're here in little Ottawa, but just like grapes that suffer, we got a lot of character. Not that Vancouverites don't. But I'm so glad you could join us, Sam. Is anything in your glass yet, or is it too bright, sunny, and young afternoonish to be drinking yet? Lori is having iced tea. My Christmas party was last night. Oh, Lori, I'll try not to speak too loudly. Okay. Linda Day. She says, Evelyn, you should check out Natalie MacLean. Okay, excellent. So Linda's talking to her friend Evelyn. Not sure how all this works, but thank you, Linda. And Evelyn, come on over. Join us at the table here. Linda is in Nevis, the West Indies. I love this. Linda, what's in your glass? Okay, so the reds. Now let me liken this. So Stephen was asking about this. So Saint Laurent is like Pinot Noir, has that nervy, edgy, racy acidity. Blauer Zweigelt is what I would compare to Maréchal Foch, which is a hybrid. Baco Noir, another hybrid. So it's got that sort of purple, black plum, dark berry brooding, not quite Zinfandel, a bit more purple blueberry, but very lip-smacking delicious. So you would put this like with barbecue, like chicken wings, grilled pork chops. You'd put this with foods, dishes that would go with Pinot Noir. Trying to talk too quickly, that's what happens. The bottlenecks right here. So planked salmon, seared tuna, roast chicken, etc. Liking that. Anyway, okay, let's just try that. Some Blauer. And I'm not sure if anybody has an opinion on the type of glass for Saint Laurent Pinot Noir. I'm thinking it would probably be a big glass. I've got this, but a Pinot Noir glass, just for your info, would be more like this, more bulbous, and then comes in at the top to capture those aromas. And then probably the Blauer Zweigelt would be more in like a Cabernet glass like this. But here we go. Let's give this a shot. Hey, Gail is here. Where can I find a list of the wines you're discussing tonight? Gail, I'm going to post it. So I already have a link of videos and backgrounders on Austrian wines and some really good stuff. I will post it. Stephen's crying with his emoji. We will help you. People, don't panic. I will post the list of these wines. I'm glad you're on it. Sam from BC says there are increasing plantings of Gruner Veltliner, that crisp white grape home to Austria, but they're getting planted in BC now. That is very interesting. Sam is a wine teacher in Vancouver. He really knows his stuff. Louis from Brazil. How do you compare this second one with Primitiva wine? You're thinking, are they similar? You know what? So back to Blauer Zweigelt. So I'm comparing it to Maréchal Foch. Baco Noir would be the closest cousins, taste-wise, I mean. But yes, Zinfandel and Primitivo, yes, I would think that Zinfandel and Primitivo are a bit more black plum and lighter, whereas this is really purple, deeper, darker, just more festive, I don't know. I would really want barbecue sauce with this, like barbecue wings, barbecue anything. Spare ribs. Ooh, getting hungry. Let me give it a taste though. Lori, I always drink Pinot in a Pinot glass. It really does make a difference. Okay, agreed, Lori, agreed. Oh, that's so good. Juicy, plummy, berry. Happy. Okay, Dave. Oh, I love when people talk to each other. Lori, Dave is saying to Lori, we had a tasting with Riedel glasses and they made a huge difference with the right glass. You're right, guys. A good glass makes a great difference. Where I part ways with the whole glass thing is I don't think you need 90 different ones, as Riedel does offer. And there are other alternatives to Riedel that are more affordable. Riedel actually owns Spiegelau. They bought their competitor when, I guess, to broaden the product line. But I do think that Spiegelau offers good value, but there's a number of different brands out there that are really great glasses. And for me, personally, there are two essential glasses. There's your what they call the Sauvignon Blanc glass and the Cabernet Sauvignon glass. This will do most reds, this will do most whites. So, but we'll have a glassware. Did we do a glassware thing yet? Tasting? Anyway, we could dive into that. So now let's move along, shall we? Okay, so we talked about Austria is more than whites. We have reds. We also have, right here. We also have Riesling from Austria. This is Lemosur. And as I said, they do Gewürztraminer. There's Sauvignon Blanc, which you should check out. I wasn't able to get one for tonight's tasting. But all of those crisp, vibrant whites, the other thing that I love about Austrian wines is that they are low in alcohol. So this is 12.5%. The Gruner 13, not bad. 12.5 Gruner. I love it. Like, when you do care about moderation and yet you want lots of taste, look at this one. This little handsome devil is 11.5%, so that's pretty good. That's really good. So there's lots of crisp whites. There are some reds that tend to be cool climate reds. And then there are sparkling wines. Now, there were no sparkling wines that I could get a hold of in those two major liquor store chains, but I really encourage you, if you ever see Austrian Sekt, that's S-E-K-T. It's just a style of Austrian sparkling wine. It's not a brand name or a winery name. Dry Austrian sparkling wine is a treat, made from Austrian grapes. Again, very refreshing, a fraction of the cost of champagne. Really worth trying. And it's often on restaurant lists where they will get small artisanal, small batch wines, Austrian wines in, where you can try these wines, because they're getting them from what's called a consignment agent. So the producer doesn't have near enough production to sell to a liquor store chain, but they have enough to place in various restaurants. So I'm always looking for wines I could not get in the liquor store when I go to a restaurant. So Lee says, Stephen just landed the last bottle in North Bay, my friend. My friend will grab it up for me 2 hours away. Lee's is a dedicated wine buyer who goes on major trips and drives and loads up her truck, is it, Lee's, or car? And then all her friends, she's the buyer for her friends. So that's pretty cool. Sharon says, are the Austrian wines lower in alcohol because they are cooler climate? Yes, compared to Australia or California, which tend to have higher alcohol. Does longer ripening increase the alcohol? Both. Both, Sharon. So they, on average, have cooler climates. So they do need to have as long a ripening time as they can, but their season is also shorter. So overall, the temperatures don't get as warm as the warm areas of Australia. Australia does have cool climates, by the way, but the warm areas of California. And overall, the start to finish, from bud break to hand picking the grapes, is a shorter period. So Both factors contribute to lower levels of sugar in the grape, and that is directly related to how much alcohol, how much the yeast can eat and produce alcohol. So, but yeah, do try the Austrian sparkling. Now I have some what I call interesting Austrian wine facts. Oh, okay, so I talked about the slopes at 80 degrees. They're planted at an average of 500 meters above sea level in slate. So again, all of those factors, so not only do they have cool climate, but they're planted up high on these terraces, which also means they're very, very chilly, making them suffer in multiple ways: drainage, coldness. But going to Austria is one of the most beautiful wine trips you can take ever. What else? Food pairing. Let me just throw out some stuff to get your mouth watering. Pad Thai, Peking duck, curry, salad, seafood, Wiener Schnitzel, that old classic of Austrian cuisine. These wines were made for it. They have the racy acidity to cut through even sauerkraut, cabbage. These are all wine killers for other wines, but not so for Gruner Veltliner and some of these racy reds as well. Floyd, can you recommend an under $25 Pinot? Really? Really, Floyd? Okay. Yeah, it depends on what style you like, Floyd. So, I always answer a question with another question. Very typical. But it depends if you like New World Cherry Berry or austere Old World. The Saint Laurent, which is Pinot Noir, this one's definitely under 25, and this one is available, I believe, in the LCBO. So, but give me some more parameters there, Floyd, and I will. Sharon, funny, when I'm at restaurants, I don't like when it's a wine I can't get at the LCBO or ICQ, because when I like a wine in a restaurant, I can't get it, so it makes me sad. That's a good point, Sharon. Although, if you ask the sommelier or whoever's serving you, which agent represents this wine, often you can go to their website, and order a case directly. You must buy, at least here in Ontario, a case of wine if you want to buy directly from the consignment agent, but that is an option. Just keep that in mind. And that's why with every wine I recommend, I also list the agent who represents it, and you can go, I've got the agent's phone number, their email, and you can contact them directly, because let's say it's sold out in the liquor store, maybe they still have some stock left, and we'll sell you a case directly. Good to remember. We've got 4 exclamation marks from Sharon. You can order through a secret underground agent. Yes, you can, Sharon. And this is just one of the many things you'll learn by tuning in here every Sunday night for the Sunday Sipper Club. This should be my little brief segue here. If you're just joining us, please let us know where you're logging in from. We welcome everybody. I'm just curious. Who's here? Where are you from? What's in your glass? It's okay if it's not Austrian wine. It's okay even if it's not wine. I just would love to know who's lurking and joining us here tonight. I'm going to take another sip of that beautiful Austrian red wine. Very nice. Okay. So, more factoids for those who love to learn. And don't forget that you can watch the video replay if you joined us late. Put us in your calendar. Every Sunday night we're here live, 6 p.m. Eastern. You can join us at that point. And if you click on like or share, or both, you'll get a notification on your own Facebook stream that we've gone live. Just as a reminder, if you click on the blue sign up button, you'll get my wine picks every week. Free. Okay, now let me go back here on food pairing. Okay, planet friendly. This is an important point. So, who here has heard of biodynamics? Raise your hand. No, don't raise your hand. Raise your like or thumbs up. Sharon Skinner. Hey, Shannon. Shannon Skinner is here. Hello, Shannon. Where are you logging in from, my dear? And is there anything in your glass that we should know about? Spencer Hollis de Villo-Bresnik. He's got Lapsang Souchong tea and a baguette with maple butter. Well, at least you're You've started on the road to pairings. Now let's just get you over to wine, Spencer. Sharon has heard of biodynamic but doesn't know a lot. Tell me more. Shannon is in Toronto. Yes. All right. Okay. So, biodynamics. The father of biodynamics, Rudolf Steiner, guess where he's from? You got it. Austria. So biodynamics, I think of biodynamics as like organic plus plus plus. So organic viticulture and farming is not using synthetic pesticides and fungicides and the different sprays. But biodynamic takes that probably 10 steps further. Tree hugging. Yep, tree hugging, it is, Lise. It's tapped into the lunar cycles, and that determines when you should be picking, when you should be planting, when you should be whatever you're doing to your vines. They bury bull's horns in the vineyard to release the energy of the universe. Some people liken this a bit to sort of not voodoo, but woo witchcraft, but I don't want to dismiss it, because I think if the end result is paying attention to the earth, to respecting the earth, to getting rid of all of the synthetic crap that has been used in farming and viticulture, to really listening to the vines, if you will. 1 minute before I lose Floyd here off the Facebook only shows me 5 comments at once, and then you all go off. I can see them afterwards, but I'm trying to respond in real time. So Floyd is thinking Oregon, a little hardy and not too thin. Let's see if Erath works for you. I need to check the price, Floyd. Shannon is enjoying Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. Stonely, a reasonable price. Excellent. Spencer, it's morning time. Oh, right. Sorry, Spencer. You're in Tokyo. Pick up an Austrian wine tonight. Yes. Had Champagne de Beneteau Bordeaux last night. Oh, Champ de Beneteau Bordeaux. There's my accent. Dave, we were at an organic winery in Chile. They had a chicken mobile home that was towed around the vineyard so the chickens could clean it up. That's cool. And in Niagara, they have little sheep at Featherstone, and they have their black sheep Riesling. It is so adorable. They have these lambs who come every spring and sort of nibble on the grass, and I call them lamb mowers. They have a small environmental hoof print. Anyway, James in St. Augustine, Florida. Hey, James, I'm so glad you could join us. He's drinking Bella Zinfandel, Dry Creek Valley, nice. Sonoma, cool climate. Love your sippers. Excellent. Only Austrian wine tasted is the Gruner Veltliner. We'll have to branch out. Yes, you will. That's good, James. Lori, are a lot of Austrian wines organic as well? Yeah, they are, Lori. A lot of them are organic and biodynamic, although they don't always sort of advertise that as a marketing point on the front or back labels. So back to biodynamics. The father of biodynamics is Rudolf Steiner. And I think he's also responsible for that whole schooling system. It's not Montessori, it's the other one of natural learning. Begins with W, and I can't remember. Somebody will. So put it in here on the chat if you remember. What wine goes with gingerbread house? That, you got spice, you got sweet. I would say a Gewürztraminer ice wine, or a sweeter Gewürztraminer, Stephen. Waldorf, that's it. So I think Steiner is also responsible for the basis of Waldorf learning. Anyway, fascinating guy, late 1800s. And he came up with these principles of, Floyd knows that too, of biodynamics. So again, it's really about paying attention to the earth, and I think, and the vines, and the natural cycles, and I think it's not to be dismissed, and I think if it makes you really be a vine whisperer, if you will, that's a good thing, because it's about really paying attention to where the grapes and vines are naturally. So no pesticides, etc., and all the rest of it. But as I said, it goes beyond that. It goes into mixtures, tinctures, sort of almost herbal medicine, if you will, for vines. as I mentioned, they bury the bull's horns, which are said to have a lot of natural energy, and there's some sort of mixture they put into it. Again, there are people who know a lot more about this than I do, but I'm just throwing it out there to spark your curiosity, and you can pursue it further. Sharon says, hello to James. Again, another side conversation. Love this. I toured the St. Augustine Winery in Florida. I didn't know there was a winery in Florida. My tradition, for every winery I visit, I buy a glass from the winery. The St. Augustine glasses are my favorite. Oh, isn't that nice? And Stephen says, my granddaughter just finished one. Now I've lost the thread. She just finished one. A glass of wine? How old is that granddaughter? Or Waldorf school? Perhaps it's the Waldorf school. Lee says, gingerbread would be good with some Grand Marnier. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And there's some red ice wines, like Cabernet Franc-based ice wines. Enniskillen makes a good one. Stratus. I think that might work too. So, I'm back to this red, which I'm liking a lot. So, we've got the sort of the foundations of biodynamics. And it's like getting the vines off junk food, right? So irrigating, giving them water, not making them work, is like their junk food. But so are, like, as I said, herbicides, pesticides, artificial fertilizers. You know, it's about getting the vines back in touch with their roots, literally. And what happens when you do that is that the vines can withstand more extremes of temperature and climate change from year to year. And that's important given all what's happening with our planet, because they can fend for themselves. It's like people who get off medications when they should get off them. I'm not advocating everybody get off medications, but when it's a crutch or when you don't need it and you get off it, your body takes over and has a natural resilience to healing itself. And that's exactly what happens with the vines. So let's see what else. A lot of them are small producers, as I said. What other things? Oh, let's just get you your tongue around some of these words. So you will also often see on the bottle of a Austrian wine, and German, I think. Hey, Bonnie is here. Hey, Bonnie from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. How are ya? Anything in your glass tonight, Bonnie? And Lewis is saying, sorry for my technical ignorance, but is there a difference between organic and biodynamic? That's not technical ignorance, and I am not even expert enough to really give you a nuanced answer, Lewis, but really I think of organic as farming or viticulture, farming the vines, without artificial fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. That's basically what I think of as organic. Again, jump in here if you want to correct me. Biodynamic takes all of those same principles, does that, and then takes it 10 steps further with using the lunar cycles and some astronomy, not astrology, burying the bull's horns in the ground with mixtures, spreading like chamomile, tea leaves. There's all kinds of things they do. And again, it's all about the earth and the planet and the cycles and all that kind of stuff that goes beyond the organic. So they do the organic viticulture, but then they go further with it. Some of the most famous wines in Burgundy are biodynamic, and they don't even say it anywhere, not even organic on the label. You think Domaine Romani Conti, DRC. One of, I think, the most famous Pinot Noir in Burgundy, biodynamic. There's a bunch of them. I could go on. Olivier Leflevre, and the woman, his sister or cousin. There's so many of them. But as I was saying, let's get your tongue around some of these words. So you'll often see what looks like to us Anglo-North Americans, wine gut. Just very strange. Weingut. But in German and Austrian, W is V. Think Volkswagen. Or Wiener Schnitzel. It's getting too late for me to get my tongue around these things. So Weingut is actually Weingut, and it means winery. So also what looks like, wine, W-I-E-N is wine. It also means Vienna, which is a great name for capital city if you ask me. Schloss. Schloss means castle, so S-C-H-L-O-S-S, Schloss. Grand Cru means really good wine. What else can I tell you? They also do equivalent of DOC or AOC, those appellation controlled quality. VQA is another one like here in Canada, but for Austria it is DAC. So Districtus Austria Controllatus. And I think my brain has had enough of trying to pronounce stuff, so I'm going to go back here. All right. So, I'm back to the red. Has anyone got a favorite Austrian wine? Or even just what Austrian wines have you tried? So, someone has mentioned Gruner Veltliner. Has anyone else tried Gruner Veltliner? And what did you think of it? If you remembered the winery name, let me know. If you didn't, that's okay. But what did you think of that wine? What would you pair it with? Let's get the juices and mouth-watering of others here tonight. We're at the 45-minute mark. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so, all right. Sharon Skinner, yes. Yes to what? I just lose these threads. So you've had a good Gruner Veltliner. Okay, I think that's what I mean. Oh, you loved it and you don't recall the name. That's fine. Yeah, some of these names are really hard to remember, which is why I will post all the links to the wines that I'm mentioning tonight that I've been able to source from the LCBO and SAQ, but given that they're in those liquor stores, I gotta believe that they're more widely available wherever you are. Yeah, she's saying yes again. A woman of few words, but very direct. Shannon. All right, I'm trying this again. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, wow. What a great selection. I should just show you some other bottles I have here. I end up talking way too much and tasting not enough, or I get stuck on one because I'm stuck on it and I love it, but that's what a passion for wine is. Let's see. Some other wines. So we've got Allram, another Gruner Veltliner from Camptal, which is a region. Camptal. I'm probably massacring these names, but anyway, we're all here to learn together, right? Camptal. Again, beautiful, fresh, and crisp. Tara's here. Tara and family. Late to the visit, that's okay. Got carried away with cooking, that's okay too. A recent Gruner I enjoyed was L&T Weingut Dernberg. Oh, hey. Hey, this one? Hey, Tara, like that's a really good one. That was my someone, Floyd asked me to pick one, and this is the one I picked. Harmonic Convergence. So Tara, as you know, you can watch the replay because it's so gripping. Whatever you missed, after this gets posted, after we're done, you can watch the replay with your family. Why watch It's a Beautiful Life or It's a Nice Life or The Sound of Music when you can watch this? Anyway, okay, here's another one. Stad Krems. Gruner Veltliner. Again, crisp, lovely. Shannon asks, Gruner Veltliner, is it similar to Riesling? Yes, it is. It is. Shannon, good question. So, as I mentioned, I've heard someone describe it as the zest and minerality of Riesling, a dry Riesling. This is bone dry. The crispness and racy acidity of Sauvignon Blanc, and sort of the white peach notes of Pinot Gris. So really, it's intriguing. You really should give it a shot. And whenever you see an unpronounceable name or a name that's hard to pronounce for us Anglos, you know you're going to be underpaying because people avoid ordering in the restaurant or buying in the store and having to ask a staff member or trying to figure out, what this is, Gruner Veltliner. So you're going to get really great value. So, no worries, Shannon. Liz, so is Gruner Veltliner? Light body white, aromatic white, in your opinion. So it is, I'd say light to medium. It packs a lot of flavor. So it's not a wimpy wine, but this is another benefit. There's no heavy oak, no heavy alcohol, no heavy tannins, of course. So it's got the perfect hedonism combo, I'd say. of lots of flavor, but not that heaviness. And as I mentioned, I think this one, the Dernberg, that's terrific, is only 11.5. Some of these clock in at 13, which is about as high as you're going to get. Here's another Dernberg. Look at that beautiful label. I think I got this one at the SAQ. Isn't that gorgeous? Anyway, I'm a sucker for a label. But the stuff inside has to deliver. So another Gruner Veltliner. So I said the majority of what we're going to get here are Gruners. This one is Pichler Krutzler. And Pfaffenberg, again, is a region. I will have posts that will give you an overview of the regions. And here we go. This one is Valmsand. Valmsand. I find these very modern, these labels. Very good. Okay. And let's see if I have anything else. I think I've shown you all the bottles I have. Rabel and Lenmosier are probably the two best known producers. So you want to get a grip or a look at those two. They're probably the two you will most likely find in your local liquor store in the Eastern European or Europe/other section. Anyway, so yeah, what else can I tell you about, if you're planning a wine trip, that's where you want to go, is Austria. Beautiful, beautiful country. Imagine you sipping wine just going slowly along the Danube River, looking up to the terraced vineyards, the castles, on a lazy barge on the river. Can you see it? I can. I'm there now. I need to come back to Ottawa. Don't want. Okay, so I think I've answered most of your questions. As always, I will jump in here afterwards. I'm going to post those wines that we tasted tonight. But if you are late to the party or you have another question, please don't be shy. There's no silly questions, really. I don't want people to be intimidated, because that's why I'm doing this, so that you can, from the comfort of your own home, feel free and feel brave enough to jump in and ask whatever it is, because we have got people who are really knowledgeable here who can help me when I don't know. So don't you be intimidated. I love admitting to my own ignorance. It's something I'm blissfully proud of. It's the way we learn. It's only by opening up and asking the questions. That's the way we learn. So if you are here now and you haven't done so, please click on like and share. Click on the blue button that says sign up. Put it in your calendar. Every Sunday we go live at 6 p.m. Eastern. So put it in your Google Calendar, whatever calendar you use, so that you know you can join us. Next week, I'm already thinking of topics, but I'd like your suggestions. I think last week some folks have suggested after dinner drinks. So maybe next week, because we're getting into the Christmas holiday period, we should look at port and sherry and all those other kinds of dessert wines. That might be nice. Let me see. Sharon, would you ever consider putting together a wine tour outside of Canada? No. I'm an introvert. Sharon, that might just kill me. Either that or I'd be drinking too much. That's very sweet, Sharon. I can put you in touch with people who host wine tours. Sam, Austria is one of the tidiest countries ever. Very neat and tidy. Wow, okay, it's tidy. Sharon, this is the first time I've been on your live chat. I stumbled upon it tonight. Excellent, Sharon. Shannon from Toronto. How does it work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Every Sunday, we're live here at 6 p.m. Eastern. I just started doing these like a month or so ago, so I'm new to this too. So just put in your calendar, join us here every Sunday at 6. As I said, click like, click follow, you'll know when we go live. And that's about it. You can sign up for my newsletter, Shannon, and I always on Fridays give a reminder that we're going live and what the topic is, so you'll know which wines you might want to get. Tara, Rabble people are very responsive. They're great if you have any questions. Glad to see we're back to the hour. Haha. Yes, apparently I can't control myself, and I thought I would move to half an hour. Oh well, c'est la vie. You can always tune out. You can click me right off if you like. That's cold. Okay, Shannon, port, yes. Tom, port and sherry, gotcha. Shannon, December 25th and January 1st are both Sundays. Will you take a break those days? No. Actually, yes, I will. But you know what? Why don't we maybe just reschedule those for a day after or a day before? Probably not the 24th, but maybe we'll look at, let me know what you guys think. December 26th and January 2nd? Not sure. Will the headaches be gone by then? And don't forget, James from Toronto says, don't forget Iceline. Iceline. Man, it is time to wrap this up, isn't it? Please, die hard, good girl. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so that's it for this week. One last time, we'll be here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Click like, click share, click sign up, follow, whatever. And next week, let's do after dinner drinks, since that's what got suggested last week. But hey, get in the queue here and suggest topics leading right up till Christmas. You know, do you want gift wines? How to suggest a gift wine? Do you want, I don't know, budget wines? Do you want a certain country like we've done this week? Last week we did Prosecco. You let me know, okay? All right, folks. I am having so much fun with this. Thank you. This is like something I'm looking forward to now every week. It's a lot of fun, and I feel like I'm very privileged to be part of your Sunday evening. So thank you, and I will see you again next Sunday at 6 p.m. Take care.